What up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of The Grind Engine. That's the name I came up with for this channel. And hopefully it sticks. I don't know if it's going to be something that I keep forever, but right now we're The Grind Engine. My name is Arson, and today, today we're going to talk about procrastination because I've been procrastinating heavy the last couple days. So, to be honest, I've been working towards betterment, obviously, for the last few months here. It's probably been about, oh gosh, probably 6 months now, right? I've always been a person to work towards betterment and evolving and becoming the best version of myself. But in the last 6 months, that's when things really started kicking off because I had no choice. I was stuck in my house. It's kind of like a COVID 2.0. I happened to have had like a seizure and because I have epilepsy, and life kind of halted for me. I couldn't go back to work for a while. I couldn't do much but stay in my home, regenerate or rejuvenate or just get better. And during that time, I found myself just thinking that I needed to make a change. I need to make a change mentally. I need to make a change spiritually. I need to make a change emotionally, financially, all aspects. And my Northern Star was just freedom in all those things. I wanted to be free. And in order for me to become free, a couple things needed to line up. The foundation of my freedom was, of course, my fitness. If you have a good, fit, strong body, then everything else, all the principles that you need in order to enact or to introduce that outcome into your life, which is a fit body, will then permeate into everything else, whether it's business, whether it's finances, whether it's your personal life, whether it's your relationships with God and other people. Because the discipline that it takes in order for you to achieve a fit body is necessary, or rather it will permeate into or bleed into everything else that you do. So how does this tie back into procrastination? Now, during this time that I was growing myself and building myself, it's a process, right? Like all things, right? You build yourself slowly, 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 and you don't just go skip from step A to step Z, the finish line, in a blink of an eye. You need to do the progression step by step, climbing a mountain step by step, right? What's the fastest way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so in order for me to progress or to see progress, I really needed to focus on the little things, making sure that I had all my goals written down, but at the same time, making sure that I knew the steps in between where I am right now and in between where I wanted to get to. And so those were daily consistent steps that I needed to achieve every single day without fail. Now, obviously, I'm a human being like yourselves, and sometimes you don't hit the marker, right? Sometimes you get lazy. Sometimes your mind comes into effect and your mind tells you, hey, you know what? Maybe we should skip today. Oh, I feel tired. Maybe we should rest right now. Or, oh, such and such gave you a call and now you want to go ahead and hang out with this person, or this girl that you've been crushing on finally messaged you back, so you want to go hang out with her. Whatever the case may be, something comes up in order to kind of derail your progress and take you away from your greatness. Now, for me, a lot of those held true. But the biggest thing for me was procrastination. Now, I've been trying to start this YouTube for a myriad of years now, but recently, as I've been building this consistency and I've been doing pretty well and being consistent in the last couple months here, what I've noticed is when I started a new project, which is my YouTube channel, for example, to get out of that procrastination took time. So I couldn't just, like I was telling you before, I couldn't just jump from I never posted anything. The last time I posted was 4 years ago to all of a sudden I'm posting every day. That was my ambition, to post every day. But I noticed that, oh my gosh, like a week went by before I posted my next video, or a couple days went by, right? But I needed to take the successes where they were, which in this case, the success was I've posted more now than I've ever posted before in my life, which is beautiful, right? So although I did fail, I realized that I needed to at least find some level of grace within my failure. And what I learned was I am capable of posting, and I actually really enjoy making these posts. Although they're candid, they're rather off the top, almost like a freestyle. But they're true to who I am, and they're the experiences that I'm going through, and that's what I'm sharing with you guys. I'm sharing with you guys what I'm going through right now, so you guys are growing with me. I'm not that man yet. I'm definitely not the man that I see, or the man that has achieved all of these goals here. I'm definitely not that guy, but I'm working towards being that guy. And one of the things that I'm struggling with right now, as I'm transitioning into this new version of myself, is procrastination as it pertains to YouTube right now, right? So today I told myself, no matter what, no matter how horrible this video turns out to be, no matter how bad it turns out to be, I need to make the effort and I need to get it in. Now, the best way to get out of procrastination is to at least start one thing, right? Just start. There's not going to be a perfect time. There's not going to be a perfect environment. There's not going to be a perfect scenario that allows you to, make the perfect video or make the perfect play in whatever endeavor you're trying to get into. The only thing that will work in your favor to actually complete the assignment is to move, action, extreme action. And that's one thing I've been trying to focus on. Regardless of how I feel, regardless of what is going on, if I have a goal, I need to go ahead and just have action. Have at it. Just go, right? I don't care if it's perfect or not. And so that's what I've been trying to implement in my day-to-day life. So now the routine has been, okay, now you need to learn what YouTube really is all about. You need to really understand the mechanism behind successful YouTubers and kind of implement that into your day-to-day YouTube grind. So every single day, allocate some time in order to learn and become more astute in the practice of YouTubing, right? But with that education comes massive action, because if you don't go ahead and you practice what you learn, then it's useless information. I need to become capable of action. All the greats that you know of, every single one of them, they all have one thing in common, and it's that they practice action, right? No matter, they could be 3 a.m, they have an idea, boom, they're on it. Like, okay, how can I make this idea work, right? I have some goals up above me, as you can see right there, right? I have some goals above me, and excuse me, I realize that all these goals that I have above me, as great as they are, as awesome as it is to be able to wake up in the morning and just look at that board and be like, okay, this is the goal I want to achieve in 2025. I want to achieve this, that, and the third. It's great, but none of them have actionable steps. And the one thing that will allow me to procrastinate even more is just looking at these goals without any actionable steps. So one of the actionable steps that I'm going to be taking this weekend is to write down each one of these goals. Okay, well, if I want to achieve this in 2025, break it down into small little bits or bites, and see what can I do today that will bring me closer to achieving that goal. And that's what I'm planning on doing to overcome procrastination, because the problem about procrastination is we look at the grand a dream or goal, right? We look at the big picture. Well, what we need to do is actually focus our attention on the small things. When you focus your attention on the small steps, it becomes easier to eat, easier to digest, easier to swallow. And at that point, it will allow you to be able to take that step, right? Like, for example, one of the things that people that I do specifically, or people in general do, or highly successful people do, in order to curate their day, is to just start in their dwelling, their bedroom, right? If you get into the habit of just doing your bed, just the smallest thing, just do your bed, right? That will activate a neurological response, which will pretty much be a win for you for that day. I did my bed. That's a win for the day. And that will go ahead and allow you to push forward into any other endeavor that you may have that day, right? So you go from I just did my bed to now, you know what, I have a boost. Now I want to go ahead and do some 10-minute yoga. You go from, okay, I did my bed, check. Then I did my yoga, check. Now I want to do 10 minutes of meditation, check. I did my 10 minutes of meditation. If you're a spiritual being, if you're a religious being, maybe you want to get closer to your creator, be the universe, whatever the case may be. Then you pull out the scripture, you do that, check, check, check. And then all of a sudden now you're like, okay, now let me put in some deep work, an hour of deep work in whatever endeavor that it is. Maybe it's, you're crafting your YouTube. Maybe it's that you're a day trader. Maybe it's that you're building your business. Whatever it is that you're doing, what you've done, if you've given yourself a succession of wins, win after win after win after win after win after win, that will allow you to destroy and conquer the day. And that's what it's really about. And how that relates to procrastination is that with procrastination, a lot of the times people look at the big picture. Again, they don't look at the finite steps in between where you are now and where you want to be. So rather than looking at the big picture, focus on the smallest details. What can I do right now that exerts the least amount of energy, right? But that will push me towards the right direction, which is finally achieving that goal. For example, if you're a student and you need to write an essay, okay, maybe don't think about, oh my gosh, I need to finish this, 1,200 page essay. Well, think about, okay, well, let me just start by writing the opening sentence. That's a sentence, right? My opening statement, right? As soon as you start, getting into writing, whatever it is, it could be gibberish, right? But you start writing that sentence, all of a sudden your mind clocks in and you're like, okay, sentence done. Now let me progress. It's all about taking action. And that's what I'm going to do from now on, is take action until this becomes a habit. That's what we need to do, is consistent action will lead to consistent habit building habits, I guess. Yeah, so just build the habit of taking the smallest action, and that will lead to building the big habits, and that will lead to crushing your overall goals. So that's pretty much all I have to say for today, guys. Keep me on my toes, and make sure that you keep me accountable, and I will get that done as a promise, not only to myself but to you guys. I want you guys to feel like Arson does what he says what he means, and he means what he says, if that even made sense. But that's what we want to do from 2024 onwards through 2025 to 2026, because that's the type of man that I want to be, and I hope that's the type of person you want to be. Thanks again, guys. Like, follow, share, comment, and let me know what kind of strategies you guys are using in order to, kick procrastination off of your to-do list. Cheers.